I'm NAZ Today meteorologist Lee Bourne coming to you on Friday, July the 8th. Thanks for checking in with us on the World Wide Web. All right, the million-dollar question, what happened to our monsoon? Off to such a strong start there in late June, and it has been completely shut off here for the last week. So we take it out to the current Pacific satellite out here on this Friday, and let's talk about what happened to that monsoon moisture. Take a look at down in Mexico and the entire region of the Southwest. Nearly no monsoon moisture to be seen, and one possible explanation is, well, number one, we're in a completely non-monsoon type weather pattern, and that is a fairly active storm track still moving in off the Pacific. Take a look at this area of low pressure moving into the Pacific Northwest. This is bringing snow in the Cascades of Oregon down to 6,000 feet. This is more like a May or June type weather pattern, and when these storm systems are still moving in off the Pacific, this brings in a more dry westerly southwesterly flow across our region, and that completely shuts off our more typical southerly monsoon type of pattern. So we're just in this very dry weather pattern across the region. This storm system we see moving into the Pacific Northwest actually going to move through the Great Basin over the coming weekend, drying things out even further, picking up our winds out there on Sunday. A couple little more things to point out here in the Pacific. Very active with the hurricane pattern here very early in the season. One possible explanation for the active hurricanes and the active Pacific storm track is the last gasp of El Nino. There's still some warm water out here, although we are transitioning slowly to a neutral type temperature profile out in the Pacific, El Nino neutral, and eventually it looks like we are going to La Nina as we get into next fall and winter, but still some warm water hanging on and making for an active storm track, and that's really been a spoiler here for our monsoon and our dew point temperature. So we check in with our dew point tracker for us here in Flagstaff. This is the month of July, and look at our average daily dew points. When we started off July, we're up here in the mid-low 50s, and then they just started plummeting each and every day as the drier air moved in. In the last several days, our average daily dew point has been around the 40-degree mark, and it's very dry for this time of year. Although, we take a look at the red line, that's our historically average daily dew point temperature for the last 50 years. And notice for the month of July, it's typical to start off fairly dry at the beginning and then start to see those dew points ramp up into the mid-upper 40s as we make our way through the month. But now that the dew points have crashed, we're actually below average for this time of year. So our monsoon pattern, which we are not in, is typically this time of year with high pressure centered somewhere over the Great Plains or the Four Corners, bringing in southeasterly flow, which brings us the thunderstorms. This is completely suppressed by what we just saw in the Pacific, this active jet stream and the dry air moving in off the southwest, high pressure being suppressed. And this is the pattern we're in. We'll call it the non-monsoon pattern, and we're going to continue with this right on through the coming weekend, and it looks like all the way through next week, and it doesn't look like we get into about the 17th, 18th, 19th time frame before we get out of this jet stream pattern and high pressure starts to rebuild and try to re-ramp up our dew points and move back into a rainy pattern. So we're looking for this for another 10 days or so, and in fact, when this storm system comes through on Sunday, we're looking for a windy day, and it will be critical fire weather conditions. We'll see winds gusting up around 40 miles per hour throughout the day on Sunday, coupled with very low relative humidities, will make for high fire danger. There's still the fire restrictions set across our forests of northern and central Arizona. So we'll say it once, we'll say it again. Please be careful out there in the woods. Only you can prevent forest fires. All right, well, it looks like we're going to have to grin and bear it with all this sunshine, and I say that a little bit sarcastically because it sure has been very nice and a great weekend to get outside. Of course, statewide, 0 chances of thunderstorms. High temperatures, at least we're not in a heat wave with this dry spell. Yes, it's warm, but it's not a massive heat wave. This is very seasonable temperatures for this time of year. Right around the 80-degree mark. We have that windy day on Sunday. That little front goes through, cools things off a degree or two Monday, and temperatures do start to climb here as we get into mid-next week. And we won't see thunderstorms enter the forecast till we meet again when I get back on the air next time. All right, thanks for tuning in, and enjoy your sunshine.